A judge just slapped Jay-Z with a July 18th, 2025 deadline to answer Ramir Satterthwaite's paternity suit. And the internet is sizzling. 50 Cent is gleefully spilling. Nicki Minaj reposted with a "To God be the glory." And whispers say Beyoncé told Rymir to "Go away, little boy."
Beyonce thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp, and she said something supposedly, this is all hearsay, about regarding saying Ramir needs to go away, little boy, something to that effect. There was something out there with the song they made. And then next thing I know, somebody was at my property. Somebody came to my property in the evening time and had a conversation about trying to get in through the back door.
Rymir claims his mum Wanda hooked up with Jay in 1992. She was 16, he was 22. Protection failed. He vanished. And years later, Robert Graves was DNA booted from the birth certificate. Jay, usually lawsuit happy, won't take a simple test. Rymir calls that proof of bigger stakes: alleged cover-ups, crooked court orders and intimidation, from paid-off lawyers to bullets in his car. He says he doesn't want money, just truth. Clear up the state line trip with a minor, the misspoke lawyers, the quiet settlement talk, the scare tactics. With the judge letting this move forward and thousands watching, the clock is ticking. Will Jay answer or keep dodging? 50 Cent didn't just sip. He splashed, blasting the filing across timelines like it was premiere night, and the shade caught fire fast when Nicki Minaj quote hit it with, "Is this why he was trending?" I don't know. To God be the glory. That one line turned curiosity into chaos. Barbs dissecting court stamps, G-Unit fans cracking jokes, the Hive side-eyeing every allegedly tied to Beyoncé's name. Threads morphed into mini investigations. Screenshots of Tina Knowles' book for Jersey property receipts, old Wanda interviews resurfacing, Ramir's live clips looping while people argue over motive versus money. Jay-Z's silence only sharpened the memes. He'll sue a rumour, but won't swab a cheek. Meanwhile, 50 keeps winking. Nicki keeps hinting at bigger War Rock Nation smoke, and the crowd is split between popcorn and pitchforks. The takeaway? Social media isn't just watching this case, it's steering the narrative, turning every repost into a subpoena from the court of public opinion. Now the chatter's louder than a stadium encore. Some swear the judge pushed this forward because Jay-Z is tangled in a hush-hush, transporting cover-up, while others say his radio silence is the tell. If he's so quick to clap back at wild Diddy-adjacent rumours about a 13-year-old, why duck a swab here? The timeline stitching together dots like a crime board. The 1992 Philly to Brooklyn trip, Wanda at 16, Jay at 22, the failed protection, the vanished number, plus Ramir's receipts about Tina Knowles mentioning New Jersey property when Jay's team swore he had none. Every "no" comment reads like a confession to people already convinced, and every leaked snippet or resurfaced interview gets framed as proof of a deeper machine-greasing courtroom wheels. Is it legal strategy, PR calculus, or something murkier? That's the question fueling a million threads, because timing is everything. And this timing looks suspicious to an internet allergic to coincidences. Roll it back to 1992. Wanda says Jay-Z scooped her in Philly, drove to his aunt's Brooklyn apartment. They used protection that failed. And 2 weeks later, he swung by once more before disappearing into rap law. She was 16, he was 22, an age gap that turns messy rumours into potential felonies. And years later, when Ramir was about 8, she finally told him who she believed his father was. On paper, her then-boyfriend Robert Graves held the dad slot, but a 2011 DNA test erased him from the birth certificate, leaving only 2 names she ever mentioned, Robert and Jay-Z, so when one got ruled out, the math did itself. That's the origin story Ramir keeps repeating, the one Jay-Z keeps sidestepping with every declined test. and the piece that makes skeptics say, if it's all lies, why not swab and shut it down? Instead, the silence stretches, the timeline speculates, and that Brooklyn apartment memory sits like Exhibit A in a case that just won't die. Here's the powder keg. If Wanda was 16 and Jay-Z 22, this isn't just messy, it's potentially criminal, which makes a cheek swab feel less like closure and more like a confession, at least in the court of public opinion. That alleged age gap is the moment his in-house lawyer was all smiles, talking Ramir's talent, maybe a future label deal, until bigger attorneys clocked the math and the vibe flipped from let's handle this to lawyer up, lock down. Suddenly, every delay reads strategic. Every we misspoke from his camp sounds suspect, and the idea of a quiet settlement morphs into a cover your tracks narrative. For Ramir, it's proof the stakes were always higher than child support. For skeptics, it's the reason Jay won't even risk a test. Because if a DNA result ties back to a minor, you don't just get headlines, you get handcuffs in the hypothetical everyone's whispering about. What followed was less day in court and more years in limbo. Wanda's first civil suit fizzled because it was filed in the wrong state. Jay-Z's lawyer shrugged that he wasn't an interested party. And Ramir stepped in only to swear he hit a brick wall of paid-off attorneys and sleepy judges letting fraud slide.
You got these lawyers that just frauding and pit anything they doing, anything they want basically in the courtroom, and the judges is just allowing this to go on. I honestly believe that both of them should be hold it responsible for this, because you guys, this is you guys' job, and if the judge can't see this or overlook it, I can understand a mistake, but just throughout the years, to continue to overlook fraud it's just craziness to me. Like, come on, it's right there in your face. If you can't see that, then I don't know what else we can do to help you guys believe that it's something crazy going on with this case. Honestly, I just want everybody in the world just to keep their eyes open and just watch things that happen, that just like how things unfold, because it's crazy. It really is crazy. These judges, these lawyers, this fraud, collusion, who knows what it's for, money or friendships or whatever they got going on. But I can honestly say that we should never go in the courtroom feeling like we're already the victims and we did nothing wrong.
He says he dragged the fight all the way to the Supreme Court, only to be told they couldn't reopen appeals or unseal trial records. So back down he went, refiling in New Jersey's appellate division, where the slog continued. Jay-Z's team insisted he couldn't be forced into a Jersey DNA test because he didn't own property there. Ramir waived what he called receipts, pointing to Tina Knowles allegedly acknowledging Jersey real estate in her book. Every legal dodge fed the narrative that this wasn't bureaucracy, it was strategy. Extend, deflect, exhaust. To Ramir, the pattern screams collusion. To skeptics, it's classic celebrity lawyering. Either way, the maze only made one thing louder. He still doesn't have a simple yes or no answer from a lab. By this stage, Ramir wasn't just frustrated, he was broadcasting it. He raged about lawyers doing anything they want, judges overlooking fraud for years, and a system that made him feel like a criminal for asking for due process. He warned everyone to keep their eyes open, swearing something crazy was happening in plain sight, and that both attorneys and judges should be held accountable. He says illegal liens hit his family home, bogus orders drained their money, and when he wouldn't back down, the scare tactics kicked in. Shots fired at his car, something allegedly planted before a traffic stop. The kind of intimidation that makes you wonder who's really protected here. To him, this isn't about a billionaire dad swooping in, it's about clearing a record warped by collusion. To doubters, it's a man spinning a hard luck narrative. But either way, his anger is now part of the evidence, raw, messy, and impossible to ignore. Nicki didn't just repost. She detonated, piggybacking Ramir's fight with her own receipts and resentment, pointing straight at Rock Nation and saying they've muzzled her voice, sabotaged releases, even tried to fracture her marriage to Kenneth Petty while shadow banning her and the Barbs. Then comes Damori Hadley, the estranged daughter of Rock Nation CEO Desiree Perez, claiming in an interview that Nicki's not paranoid, she's patterned because the same machine allegedly tossed Damori into a mental institution and went after her family. It's all allegedly and according to, but the storyline is juicy.
I've been through some trauma and some of with Rock Nation, with Desiree Perez, with other individuals. What I can say about that is I've witnessed and heard a lot of things. Again, as hearsay, right? So it doesn't even matter. And that's why I'm not even going to go into detail with that. If I have the opportunity to speak with Nicki, would love to connect with her on that. But I've kind of seen, just like you firsthand, how they've they've abused of her platform. They abused her talents. They've of her freedom of speech. They've abused her family. They've attacked her husband. They've attacked her child. And it's sad. It's really sad. Somebody so resourceful, talented, high profile as Nicki Minaj being targeted. It should really scare the American people. It should really scare you guys too, right? Because I'm the daughter. So it's like, at this point, if it's happening to me, I think she's really outspoken, and I'm grateful that she's being outspoken on it, because I think she's almost seeing it like, well, it happened to me, it's happening to her, let me speak up on it. Nobody is safe right now. And she's fed up. I think she's fed up because she's been through
powerful execs, silenced artists, and hush-hush intimidation that mirrors what Ramir says he's lived. Nicki piles on with talk of money Jay-Z supposedly owes her, and suddenly her "to God be the glory" repost looks less like tea sipping and more like a war drum. With 50 Cent cackling from the sidelines, the narrative widens. This isn't just a paternity test, it's a peek behind Rock Nation's curtain, if you believe the people pulling at it. Strip away the headlines and Ramir swears this isn't a cash grab, a clout chase, or some late-in-life dad, where were you? Montage. He says it's about rotten process, judges who misspoke, orders he calls fraudulent, liens slapped on his family home, and years of being stonewalled while his money bled out. He's repeated it. I don't want money from Jay-Z, I want the truth. So he's demanding clarity on 4 pressure points. Did Jay-Z really take a 16-year-old Wanda across state lines? Did his lawyers flat out lie and shrug it off? Did he secretly try to settle while denying everything in court? And who fired those shots and planted that evidence after the civil suit? To Ramir, a DNA test is the quickest way to end the circus. If Jay's clean, swab and walk. To skeptics, that sounds noble. To cynics, it's polished PR. Either way, motive matters, and right now, his reads like justice over jackpots. So now the tea is fully brewed and the timer's blinking red. Jay-Z has until July 18th to speak up. Ramir's camp is louder than ever, and every no comment feeds a narrative of power, pressure, and possible pattern, because those intimidation claims echo Damori Hadley's stories a little too neatly for some viewers' comfort. Is this a son clawing for truth? A mogul dodging a legal landmine? Or a tangled saga where everyone's protecting something? The internet is split between swab and solve it, and there's way more under this rug. And either way, the court of public opinion is already in session. Your move, Sean Corey Carter. Until then, drop your take. Is Ramir chasing justice or headlines? Is Nicki exposing a machine or settling scores? And does this deadline end the drama or just cue the sequel? Sound off below, because whatever happens next, we're all witnesses now. Zoom out and the storyline starts looping. Ramir talks bullets and planted evidence, Damori Hadley cries intimidation and gag tactics. Nicki says shadow bans and sabotage. Different players, same playbook. Maybe it's all coincidence and clout chasing, or maybe there's a pattern of power moves wrapped in NDAs and we misspoke statements. Viewers are screenshotting timelines like detectives, matching dates, lawyers, and leaked lines. Because once you see the parallels, it's hard to unsee them. If nothing's there, a DNA test and a few transparent answers end it. If something is, July 18th isn't a deadline, it's a detonation timer. So we wait. Will Jay-Z file, fold, or keep floating above it all while the noise gets louder? Ramir says he wants truth. Nicki's swinging for justice. 50s clowning in the corner, and Beyoncé's camp is the ghost everyone keeps naming. Is this justice, jealousy, or just the internet doing what it does best? Turning rumours into religion? Drop your verdict. Swab and shut up, or saga to be continued. Because from here on out, every move is evidence.